This is the perfect opportunity for the New York Jets as they look to better their roster via trades, and everyone is up for trading. What's up, guys? I'm Matt Long. Welcome to Jets Football 365. If you're a New York Jet fan, hit that subscribe button. But getting into the news for today, coming from Sports Illustrated, the Jaguars are 4-3 and look like a team teetering on the edge of the playoff picture. Jacksonville is 30th in run stop win rate at 27%, while starters Devon Hamilton and Eric Armstead grade out about average among interior defensive linemen. With Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker starring as edge rushers, the team's interior isn't living up to its job. This move could boost the team now and into the future, as Quinnen Williams is the rock the Jaguars can continue to build the future around. So, the New York Jets are 1-7, season not going as well as many New York Jets fans had hoped. Not as well as the coaches would have hoped, not as well as anyone would have hoped. And right now, Quinnen Williams is the number one name on the New York Jets who is up for you. Teams are calling about, teams are interested in. Breece Hall is also one of the biggest names, but he is not as good as Quinnen Williams and would not bring back the same type of trade package that Quinnen Williams would. Per SNY's Connor Hughes reported on Monday that one source determined that a contending team would trade a first-round pick for Quinnen Williams, but most insiders are pegging his value as lower due to the need to restructure Quinnen Williams' deal. Recently, Quinnen Williams, the defensive tackle for the New York Jets, signed a mega extension, which was absolutely deserved. He's a first-team All-Pro. The only reason why the Jets aren't clamoring to hang on to him is because the team is so bad, they start to ask themselves, should we move on to this player, to add potentially more pieces? Do we need more quantity over quality? Quinnen Williams, obviously one of the most quality defensive tackles and defensive linemen in the entire NFL. Do they go out and go find maybe more players is the answer for this defense? Now, if you can you're really hoping for a first-round pick for Quinnen Williams. A lot of Jets fans may forget that part of trading away a star player for a first-round pick is you knock off the star's player contract off of your books, and sometimes that rookie that you draft ends up even better than the star player does. The Jacksonville Jaguars, they're not a very good team. I know they have 4 wins, but they're super fraudulent. That could be an early pick. The problem is the Jacksonville Jaguars only have a 2027 first-round pick, as their 2026 first-round pick has already been traded to the Cleveland Browns as part of the Travis Hunter deal. They're probably regretting that one today as Travis Hunter goes on IR with a knee injury. Fortunately, my guy's knee is okay, or his ACL is intact at least. They looked into him for that. That would have been really, really bad should Travis Hunter have that injury as well. But according to Jeremy Fowler, the Jets are not entertaining deals for Quinnen Williams unless it's a massive every player has a price type of trade package. Now, what this means is, people always ask, is this player available? Like, who's available on your team? And the best GMs always go, every player has their price. Like, for example, if you are let's talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars, who we're already talking about in this video. They have their franchise quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, locked up on a huge deal. And you would think you don't really ever want to trade your franchise quarterback, but a smart GM wouldn't say that. You don't just hang up the phone. You go like, what is the offer first? If they offer, I know you can't, if you don't have multiple firsts, you can't offer this because NFL teams are only allowed to trade first-round picks over the next 3 years. So teams do not have access to their 2029 first-round picks right now. So this trade I know is impossible, but if a team calls you and offers you 5 first-round picks over the next 3 years for your starting quarterback, you start to consider that deal, because as much as you love your franchise quarterback, 5 first-round picks, that reminds me of the Herschel Walker deal from a long, long time ago, where you can build an entire dynasty around that type of return. The Dallas Cowboys traded away Herschel Walker, and they brought back some first-round picks that turned into Emmitt Smith, Troy Aikman, and Michael Irvin. Pretty much the best quarterback, the best wide receiver, and the best running back in the history of the Dallas Cowboys. So that works out really well. And that's the type of offer that the Jets are looking for Quinnen Williams. I'm not saying they're looking for 3 first-round picks, but they're looking for they're calling, thinking that this player is not available, and the GM, Darren Muji, for the Jets is going to say, make him available. Send us so many assets that we can't logically say no. And we have to send you our star player in Quinnen Williams. That's the way this price would have to look for Quinnen Williams to get moved, as the New York Jets are not interested in trading Quinnen Williams. And I agree, they really shouldn't be interested in trading Quinnen Williams. As bad as the team is this year, defensive tackles, interior defensive tackles are very difficult to find. He is still considered a pass rusher because he gets like 7.5 sacks per year. So those are two reasons why you don't want to trade Quinnen Williams. Interior defensive tackles, as good as he is, those are almost impossible to find in the NFL drafts. When you find a really, really good one, you don't trade it. The Kansas City Chiefs have built their defense around Chris Jones, their star defensive tackle, their 4-3 DT, which is exactly what Quinnen Williams is. Lines up on the outside shoulder of the offensive guard and wreaks havoc on the inside. He draws double teams to allow our outside pass rushers, Jermaine Johnson and Will McDonald IV, to get one-on-ones to hopefully allow us to get after the quarterback, or even sneak another defensive back around the outside to get an unblocked blitzer to the quarterback. Stephen Wilkes' system, our defensive coordinator, he loves to run DB blitzes, and having a force in the middle that offenses have to plan their blocking scheme around, that is exactly how you go ahead and make sure that those guys get more open. Make them dedicate more pieces to the middle of our defense on Quinnen Williams, and that gets the outside guys going. That's why I really don't think we should be trading Quinnen Williams. Also, our defensive tackle room is extremely, extremely shallow. Right now, Quinnen Williams is, of course, the star of the show, and then Harrison Phillips, the free agent acquisition over the summer. He is another guy he's our second starter. Jawan Briggs was another very small contract, low risk, high reward pickup that the New York Jets made in free agency as well. Jawan Briggs is looking like a pretty good guy, but these players, even with more development, they cannot hold down an entire defensive tackle room by themselves. And Quinnen Williams is the best player, and he's the reason why this tackle room is able to work, because they have the leader of the room and then some other guys that are maybe kind of role player-ish. They're like good at one thing but not good at the other aspects of being a defensive tackle. Like Harrison Phillips, great run stuffer but not the best pass rusher. And then, everyone else in that room has their deficiencies, and then you just have Quinnen Williams, who's the all-around great defensive tackle. Is really not one part of defensive tackling, being a defensive tackle, that he can't accomplish. And that's why I really love the buildup of this defensive tackle room specifically. I was saying all summer long, this is exactly how you should be building a defensive tackle room. You get that star guy and then go sign some cheap guys in free agency and say, Quinnen, you're our guy. You better hold that thing down. And he will. We just got to give him a little bit of help. Got to give him some run stuffers, which we did with Harrison Phillips. And that's important because no matter how good, it could be an offensive line of me. If I can run to the right, and we will get away from Lawrence Taylor. Like we can make that happen. So they can run away from Quinnen Williams if you don't have enough run stuffers on that offensive line and in that defensive line room specifically. So that's why Quinnen Williams is very, very highly important to this team. Just a first round pick is definitely not getting Quinnen Williams off me. It's close, but it's not going to do it. Anything less than that, like a second, a third, nope. Miss me with that. Definitely let me keep Quinnen Williams. Jermaine Johnson, he could be a different story. He was in the intro video. He is being mocked in a ton of trades right now. There's a real possibility that Jermaine Johnson gets traded, with Will McDonald IV breaking out and McDonald having an extra year on his contract and Jermaine Johnson entering a contract year. Yeah, Jermaine Johnson might be out here soon. But hopefully they're not. Hopefully we can keep this defense together and the coaching gets better next season and the quarterback position gets better. But that's what I got for this video. If you stuck around this long, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel, and go Jets.